Okay, well, it's November 4th. It's 11:20 p.m. and making this video during the agony, and I'm playing the Satnam meditation, which sings my name in order to help me to stay in my own energy about this, because that's the key. The Antichrist has taken everything from me, and so all I have is the work, and the work has become saving Russell Brand's soul, because the hell that I have been presented with here at the end of my crucifixion is that Russell Brand wasn't there. And his new show, Russell Brand Exposed, has exposed the fact that he's been taken over by the Antichrist. So the very last hope for humanity is lost. But he's also found, because I am God's living sacrifice, and my entire life, everything has been sacrificed to the task of putting Russell Brand on task. And when he goes on task, I get everything. I get my crew, I get my wife, I get my child, I get out of prison, I get out of psycho-spiritual prison, the torture stops, and I get my church, I get my name, Jesus Christ, back, so that it is no longer being given to Jehovah's, the turd smoothie. And I bring the kingdom of heaven to the planet Earth. So until that happens, I agonize, and I live in my personal hell, and we all live in the kingdom of hell, because we absolutely do live in the kingdom of hell right now. My kingdom has not come. But when I put Russell Brand on task, I bring the kingdom of heaven. So, as I suffer now, I have to remember what's true, and so I'm making this video to let God, Talia, Satnam, my higher self, tell me the truth. The truth is, everything I do pleases God. Every move that I make is the absolute most perfect thing that I could do in any given moment to put the maximum amount of love and light in the world. As perfect divine love made physical, the only thing that I can ever do in any situation is bring about the highest possible outcome. The only thing that I can ever do for humans or anyone else is help them thrive and reach their absolute maximum potential. That's my joy, it's my purpose, and it's not something I even have a choice about. I am the energy that does that. That my energy is taking over the whole planet and doing that over the whole planet, but of course it's made physical and demonstrated in human form in me. So I will always bring you to your highest possible potential. If you follow me, if you take the gift that's offered, that's the gift that I'm offering you, is to help you to express your highest possible expression. Because that's what it's going to take to save this world. We're all going to have to max out and find out what we're really made of. And of course, this crucifixion has shown me what I was made of, because I didn't think I could withstand this. I didn't think I could withstand seeing that Russell Brand doesn't care whether I live or die. But I did withstand it. And I'm going to have to withstand it until I get him on task. I've already withstood that my own beloved didn't care whether I lived or died, or at least it appeared so, because of her choices, her actions. And my crew, they let me die as well. Everybody did, despised and rejected. Everybody would let me die. If I were allowed to die, I would be dead, because everybody would have let me die, and they would have caused me such extreme emotional pain that there is no way I could have survived it. No way other than bringing in more and more and more of my soul and finding out what I'm made of. And the Christ is made of a volcano of pain and rage. The Christ includes Durga, who was the warrior goddess created by all of the gods and the goddesses in order to defeat the evil that they could not defeat. And that's me. And the way that they created her, me, the me that they created out of, that is part of the Christ Oversoul, an aspect of the Christ Oversoul, Durga, is they used all of their pain and rage to empower me. So I am powered by pain. And it's not a fun way to reveal your power to yourself, but this is a hell world, and so it comes in handy that the more you hurt me, the more powerful I become. So what I have to remember is that I am absolutely never trying to achieve an outcome, even though my job is to save Russell Brand. My real job is not to do anything other than just do the will of God in every single moment. And so any kind of thoughts I have about, well, is this the right thing to do, or did I, usually it's more like, was that good enough? Was that good enough? Did I reach anybody? Was anyone there? Was anyone listening? Was anybody watching? Did they understand it? And it doesn't matter. It does not matter. It doesn't matter if there is or isn't anyone there. It doesn't matter if anyone's reading my tweets. It doesn't matter if anyone's watching the videos with me, because I'm doing my job. I am doing absolutely everything that God wants me to do. And so I can't control if there's someone over there watching, and I can't control if there's anyone reading. And I can't control if they understand it, and I can't control if their hearts are closed or if they're open. I can't control if they hate me or if they love me. All I can do is the work. And that is simply asking, how may I serve? And then doing what I feel like doing. And that's the key, is to not think too much. Because if I think too much, then I take responsibility for creating outcomes, rather than taking responsibility for obeying the will of God and just simply doing whatever Talia gives me to do. Because again, Talia is the Christ Oversoul, and Talia is the part of God that creates reality. God is the isness, the all that is, and is simply an idea generator. Just constantly generates ideas, like the sun generates light. And the Christ is the part of God that God created in order to create reality, because he wanted all of his creations, all the parts of himself, to have only the highest good. And so Christ analyzes all of the ideas coming out of the God mind and creates reality with only those that will serve the highest good. And here on earth, you have total free will, and so Christ has to work within that. And your total free will has been manipulated so that you're constantly asking for hell. And so Talia has to write hell for you, but she writes it in a way that will serve the very highest good. So if you surrender yourself to her, she will turn your hell into the salvation of humanity. So my hell is being used to save humanity. And every moment of my suffering is a gift to humanity. I am suffering to end all suffering. And that's what I have to remember. I'm suffering to end all suffering. And nothing else matters to me except ending all suffering. Nothing. Absolutely nothing matters to me except ending all suffering. So if I'm suffering while I'm ending all suffering, then that's the work. And I can reduce my suffering by eliminating the thoughts that aren't mine, by not taking responsibility for the outcome, even though it's what I want. It's absolutely, of course, I'm living in hell, and if I get my outcome, I get my heaven. Yeah, this is what I want. It's an outcome that I want. But I don't know when the perfect moment is for this outcome to occur. I don't. I don't know what the perfect way is for this outcome to occur. There have been, well, the whole point is that all along I've wanted this outcome to occur, and it's never been time, because all the time, this whole year of suffering has achieved all kinds of stuff that, if I had gotten what I wanted, it wouldn't have achieved. I just simply don't know what's best, and so I don't get what I want. I don't get what I want. I get the highest good of all. That's all I get. So, this serves. This serves. And I don't know how, and I don't know what's going on. I don't know who's, again, I don't know who's watching, who's reading. I don't know how long I might have to do this. I don't know what I don't know anything. I don't know anything. All I know is I have no free will, so I do what God impulses me to do, and I live with the outcome. So if I don't like the outcome, then the only option I have is to change my thoughts about that. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm changing my thoughts about this hell I live in now. This is the Armageddon boss battle. Everybody's probably all excited about that day when I actually take on all the kings of the world that are against God. And that's going to be a very exciting time, I'm sure. But this is the battle. This is it. Because when I win this one, I win. This is it. When I win this one, like I said in the tweets, Russell Brand is the domino that will make everything else fall. The old system will fall, and it will have begun, and I will have proof, and we will have brought the second coming of Christ, Russell and I together. Excuse me. So, this is the final boss battle here on Twitter. And probably it will happen in Russell Brand's, his Twitter feed, his tweets or my tweets and replies. I still don't Don't know exactly how his fans are watching. It doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't fucking matter who's watching it. It doesn't fucking matter. But the battle, this is the battle. This is it. This is Christ versus Antichrist. This is it. And I will fight until I have nothing left to fight with. I will fight with my last breath. Take away my ink and I will write with my own blood. I just have nothing else. I am nothing else. It is for this purpose that I came into this world, to testify to the truth, and that's what I will do. Every moment when I am working, every day when I get up and I say, how may I serve? What I do on the river is show you God. I testify to who God really is, and I testify to who Christ really is, and I demonstrate what love really is, and I show you truth. I'm the only person on this earth that can't lie. I can't lie. And so you will always be able to trust me, and I'm the only one that you can. Once Russell Brand is my disciple again, you will be able to trust him, and he will have the truth. Obviously, you can't trust him now. They've got him. And the way they got him was pain. And that's how they get everybody. They give you pain, which they then eat. They feed on it. And then they give you dark ideas about what to do about the pain, such as hate on things that you don't like. So that's what he's doing now. He's just hating on what he doesn't like, and he thinks it's funny and clever, and it's not funny. It's not clever. It's not smart. It's not attractive. He's disgusting. He's repulsive. It's loathsome. I can't stand to watch him. It's not him. That's the Antichrist. That's the Antichrist. He's demonstrating the Antichrist, which is, I can see how that would absolutely serve, because, well, for one thing, my crew and the rest of humanity, probably along with me, never thought Russell Brand could be taken over by the Antichrist. And this demonstrates that anyone, even the very best friend of the Christ, can be taken over by the Antichrist, because he's human. So, just like the Christ massacre hitting on November 1st and turning it into Black November, humanity is being shown how hopelessly bad it is down here without Christ. Hopelessly bad. Of course, without me, you're absolutely doomed. It's over. There's nothing. And without Russell Brand, there's no hope. If I can't get Russell Brand, there's no hope. But I can. She put me on him from the very beginning. November of 2015, I was told, that's Simon the Zealot, and he will found your new church, and go get him. And so, I did. And so, he belongs to Christ. He belongs to love. And I will not stop until I've saved his soul. Just like I won't stop until I've saved my whole crew. My wife, you think I would stop before I saved my wife's soul? Of course not. But now I'm not working on them, because I'll get them when I get him. So in a way, there's certainly a peace in that, knowing what you're supposed to be doing. And there's a peace in focusing. I don't have to constantly be worried about reaching out to Shannon, reaching out to Trevor, reaching out to Anthony, reaching out to Elizabeth, and reaching out to Russell. And just who should I be talking to? And what should I be doing? And what do they need next? And that's over. They're over there doing their thing, hopefully watching the final battle. It'd be very sad to miss the final battle. And I think that I've been interesting enough that I at least probably have caught their attention, if not their love. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who's watching. It doesn't matter what they're doing. But I do know that, when I put Russell Brand on task, I get everything back that the Antichrist stole from me, including the planet itself. It will be returned to the hands of Christ. So, every time I see that he has not yet stolen the vote, or maybe he's only got a few days to actually impact the election. So I don't know. Do I have? I don't know that he can do it or will do it, or I don't know that. I know it doesn't matter whether he does or not. If he doesn't, that doesn't mean Talia's not good or whatever. She's still the best. She still wrote it. It just means that something else is going to happen. It's just like, I'm sure that my crew probably thought I would just fall apart when I realized that Russell Brand was not my friend. And I did too. I didn't think I could survive that. But and what they probably might have thought, and what the whole point is that pain is supposed to break me and make me turn away from God and make me give up on love, because Russell Brand has given up on love and chosen hate and anger. He's chosen to just express his anger and focus on what's bad. And the more you focus on what's bad, the more bad you grow. Your attention is sunshine. Whether it's negative attention or positive attention, it's attention. So what you put your attention on will grow. So he's growing the negative. He's putting more pain into the world. And every time I see that he's still doing that, I have to deal with that pain reaction again inside, and just it has to not matter, even though it's my hell and the alternative is my heaven and my freedom and the freedom of all of humanity. It still can't matter. That's the tricky world I live in, is that I live in hell and I would like to get out of hell, and I've lost everything and I'd like to get it back, but I can't get attached to an outcome. The only thing I can be attached to is obeying God and just remembering that I am doing a perfect job. I can't do anything but a perfect job. Sometimes, I'll think, oh God, should I have said that, or oh, should I have said that differently, or should I have posted this video, or whatever, and I can't fuck up. When I'm doing things, there's not a feeling of total certainty all the time about what I'm doing. What I do is just what I feel like doing, because it's not me that's actually feeling it. God, Talia is living through my body, and so she will feel like doing something, and so she will put it into my mind to do something. Make this video, play the Satna mantra while you do it. Let's watch the Gospel of John together. These are her ideas put into my mind, and then I do them. So I just make myself blank. I just become a channel, and I say, how may I serve? And then I wait for what occurs to me to do with this body, with these hands, with this mouth. I just wait on the Lord. I wait on Talia to act through me, because I don't live for me, and I don't make my own choices. I ride inside a body that is controlled by God, by Talia. And again, Talia is the part of God that creates reality, that writes the story. So really, when I say Talia, I mean God, and when I say God, I'm mostly just referring to Talia, because I picture God. God is so big and so all-encompassing and immense. He's like an ocean, and you can't see the ocean all at once, and you can't appreciate the ocean all at once. I love the ocean, and of course that's where I want to live, is on the ocean. It's always where I want to be. And so it was wonderful that I got to spend my initiation in a cabin on the beach, 10 minutes away from the beach, or 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I don't know. It was a little walk to the beach. And, but you can't appreciate the whole ocean at once. You appreciate beaches, or you appreciate, surf, you appreciate rocks, you appreciate certain scenes. And Talia is the beach of the ocean of God that helps me to appreciate God, because she's the part of God that creates reality. And Talia, the Christ Oversoul, is how God loves. God has chosen for reality to be loved by being created by Talia, who will only ever love humanity and the earth and everything on it. So yeah, it's much easier for me to think about Talia than it is to think about God. Sometimes I want to think about God as a father or as a masculine energy, because God is the masculine energy. Goddess is the feminine energy. And so sometimes I want to just focus on the masculine energy, and so what I want is more the emperor from the tarot. I want that father, that protective energy. And so, again, the way that I picture that for myself is to picture a giant set of golden feet in front of me, and then I am masculine feet, and then I picture a giant set of feminine, golden feminine feet behind me, and that's the goddess. And so the god stands in front of me, the goddess stands behind me, and I kneel between them always in that position that I showed you, on my knees, with my hands in my lap, palm up. And that's how I picture the god and the goddess when I'm wanting to feel safe and small and utterly held by the most, immensely powerful things I can imagine. And then the rest of the time, basically, when I talk about, well, God said, or God did this, or whatever, it's Talia. She wrote the story. And that's the masculine energy in a female form, in order to bring respect and reverence for the feminine. God chooses to move in a female body as the Christ Oversoul. Now, the Christ Oversoul isn't physical, so she doesn't have a body, but she does have a form and a way that she is known. And she is known as a she. She is not known as a he. And again, that's so that people can think of God as both he and she. And of course, for this time in history, God needs to come as a woman, because the fallen church have raped the goddess right off the planet and have turned women into, less than second-class citizens, property. And so God is expressing in a female body in order to bring the respect back for women. Who's going to run the world? Girls. So that's Talia. Talia Shekinah Elohim. That's my soul. That's the Christ. That's the Christ Oversoul. And I am the Oversoul of this planet. It's my job to take care of this planet. And I do that. Talia takes care of this planet through this body. Not only through this body, she takes care of this planet. She takes care of all of reality. Again, let's focus on one planet at a time, because that's what I do. I take care of this planet. Talia takes care of this planet through me. And she especially demonstrates perfect love and perfect light through me. Perfect light being truth, absolute truth all the time, straight from the mind of God. I have the solutions to every problem that humanity is facing. It's very simple for me, actually. I just think, oh, well, what needs to happen here? And then I access the files in the mind of God, and oh, this is what we could do instead. It's very easy for me to solve every single problem on the planet. All I have to do is ask, and it is given. Every solution we could need. So that's Talia, and that's me. So anything that I'm doing is the absolute most I could be doing at any given time. Every breath that I take is taken and used for the absolute highest good. So whatever I'm doing, no matter how small or boring or painful, or easy, or fun, or difficult, or whatever I'm doing, it is the absolute highest possible amount of good that this body could possibly be putting into the world. So I have to remember that. And that really needs to be enough. It really needs to be enough, because I don't want anything else. You know, I want my outcomes, my heaven, but if getting my heaven too early would hurt others, I don't want it. If it would, you know, if it wrecks the plan, I don't want to wreck the plan, and I can't. That's the point, is that's where I need to find my peace, is to remember I can't wreck the plan. I can't make a mistake. I can't even make one small, tiny error that will make any kind of a difference in the outcome. If I make an error, such as a typo, or like a mistake of calling one thing when it's another thing, like mango instead of peach, or well, like when I was talking about the Gospel of John in the other video, and I was saying it was the Desmond movie where he talks about throwing the goats into the fire. It's not. It's the Gospel of Matthew, you know, the Psycho Jesus one. The Gospel of John is mostly pure. There's just a few things in there that need to be weeded out, flushed. It's just a few turns in that movie. So yeah, so I can make mistakes like that won't harm anything, and that keep me not so completely annoyingly perfect. And I can make typos, because God doesn't want you to think that I'm a machine over here typing this stuff out. I'm not a machine, I'm a person. And yes, everything that I say is perfect, and my typing is nearly perfect. It's very fast. I type over 100 words a minute. Makes it really handy. But I do make typos. Almost all of the typos are made to emphasize something that God wants me to repeat again, or God wants you to just, you know, stop reading and look at this one thing, you know, a little bit more or something. So when you do encounter a typo in my work, you should probably stop and read that particular tweet over again, unless I repeat it again, and then you will read it over again. And I usually do, because I correct the typo and thus repeat what I just said, which emphasizes it. So most of my typos serve that purpose. Some of them just serve to show you that I'm a person over here. I'm not human. I'm a person. You know, you don't have to be human to be a person. I mean, they made dolphins people. They made corporations people, but corporations are not people. That's evil. But I'm a person. And so even though I'm perfect, and I will never make a mistake, and I will never lie, and I will never do any harm, I can't do any harm, I'm still a person. I still feel things just like you do. I still had a life just like yours. I've got, uh, pictures from my childhood that I've shared in the Twitter feed to help you get to know me. That will show you I had a life just like yours, an extremely human life. I mean, look at this. This is very human. Everything looks extremely normal here. There's a plaque on my mom's fridge. Remember, we're a normal family. Now I can't remember exactly what it says, but yeah, we're a normal family. Yeah, right. And we are, and we aren't. You wouldn't know from the outside. My glasses are crooked. I don't like that. You wouldn't know from the outside that anything was weird in this little house, but I am. I'm weird in here. So I'm a person, but I'm not a human, and I won't make mistakes, and I won't lie, and I won't hurt anyone ever. And no matter how bad it gets, I will never ever respond with anything but love. I get all the same unloving thoughts that you do. Nasty thoughts about people and about what to do and about what I want and about, hurting others, hurting myself, killing myself, vaporizing people, destroying all of humanity because they're unsavable, not worth the trouble. All these kind of thoughts go through my head too. I'm just not allowed to act on them, and I'm not allowed to express them. But the thoughts are there because the demons are constantly projecting these thoughts into our head, and humans are acting on these thoughts. They don't question it. Go, do I actually feel that? Like, sometimes I will look at a woman and think, oh, she's fat. That's unattractive. She needs to lose some weight. It's like, wait a fucking minute. That's not me. I don't think that. What I think is that everyone should express what their souls are here to express. And some people are supposed to be 300 pounds and eating 8 puddings a day. And I don't judge that. All I want them to be doing is expressing their souls. So whatever that means, that's what I want. So I can't judge anything at all. I don't know what well, sometimes I do know what their purpose is. Of course, if I can look at someone, and if God wants me to know their purpose, I just know it. Anything God wants me to know about anybody, if I look at them, I just know it. And I usually know it one little bit at a time, so it's not just this complete, overwhelming download of, poof, here's this person and everything they know and everything they're here to do and everything they've ever done. No, that would just, blow my mind. So it's given to me one piece at a time. And I guess what Russell missed was God revealed who he was to him and to me through hundreds, thousands of signs, videos, and information that came through. And so he's Lancelot, and I was King Arthur, and he's Robin Hood, and I was King Richard, and he's Simon the Zealot, and I was Jesus Christ. And now he's Russell Brand, and I'm Satina, and we will rule the world together. Eternal best friends forever. And platonic lovers. The love that our souls have for one another goes beyond friendship. It's bromance, because I'm the masculine energy. Again, I'm Talia. I'm God in a female body. I'm not goddess. Shannon is goddess, but she's in a human body, a human hybrid body. 25% Elohim, 75% human, just like Russell. He's 25% Elohim, 75% human. So he's carrying 25% God DNA, and Shannon is carrying 25% goddess DNA. But I'm carrying 75% God DNA and only 25% human DNA, just enough to create the appearance of being human. And I won't die, and I can't be stopped, and even when a situation feels absolutely horrific, it's being worked to my advantage. Everything is being worked to my advantage. I will always win because I wrote it. I am just walking it out the same way you do. That's the whole point. That's why Jesus came, and it's what Jesus did, and it's what I'm doing. This is what it's like to be a divine human. Because a human doesn't just, or a divine human doesn't just know everything God knows. What would be the point? Go be God, why come down and be human? A divine human be's human, but with access to the greater them, the mind of God. And so I walk the way you have to walk. I walk as a divine, well, not a divine human, but I walk the way divine humans need to walk, which is you don't know the story, because your human mind can't think like that. It's tiny, it's limited. You're only, all you have to do your thinking with is the toys that are in the Earth toy box. You know, I mean, it's like, if you're trying to build a castle and all you have is a little box of Tinker Toys, you can't build a castle with just a little box of Tinker Toys. You need a lot more Tinker Toys. You need a lot more than Tinker Toys, don't you? You need a lot of stuff. And if all you've got is this little can of Tinker Toys, then you just can't get to a castle. Well, our thoughts are like Tinker Toys down here. Our human thoughts are like a little can of Tinker Toys. So when we're trying to figure out what's going on, the only thoughts we have to access and play with are a can of Tinker Toys. So we can't. We just can't. We don't. All we have are Tinker Toys in here. So we have got to let it go and let Talia move us, move through us, speak through us, type, write through us, and create the story which she has written, and just move us. And what she is doing is shifting us from hell to heaven. Hell to heaven. That's her. That's all she does. That's all she does, is try to give you heaven, as much heaven as possible. And that's all I do. All I ever do is try to give you as much heaven as possible, 24 hours a day. So we have got to completely surrender everything, because this life we've been living is a hell world. It's Mr. Anderson, and we have to be Neo. And when he steps away from his old life, it's over. He's obviously not Mr. Anderson, right? You're not either. You're not Mr. Anderson. This human lifetime that you've been living, that you're miserable in, just like he's miserable being Mr. Anderson, it's not your life. It's the trick. Just like it was, they tricked him into thinking that that was his life, and that that's all he could ever have. And they're like, Mr. Anderson, you need to obey Mr. Anderson, and all this bullshit. It's like, no, that's not his life. It's not who he is. Well, this isn't who you are either. You're in the Matrix. And to be born again is to leave the Matrix. And obviously, again, Neo shows us that leaving the Matrix is not simple. It's not comfortable. It's scary. Scary as hell, painful, makes you throw up. And then it's like, why do my eyes hurt? You've never used them before. Blind men will see. It's just not about restoring physical sight. I mean, that's nice, and I'm certainly going to be doing that for people, but the point is that you are blind to what's going on down here. And I am going to open your eyes. And it's not comfortable. The truths that I have been shown over this past year are not comfortable to have to carry. But I've also been shown what we're supposed to do about it, and that we're going to win. And I've been shown a plan that really can't fail. I mean, it won't fail. Of course it won't fail. I've been told since Talia came in, this is done. The timeline's written, the story's written, and we won. But it's kind of like a choose your own adventure. It is not kind of like, it is. It's a choose your own adventure. But every outcome leads to winning. But, you can win, multiple different ways, depending on the free will choices of all humanity. So if it's not working out this way, because some people are not stepping up for their missions, then it'll work this way. And if this person bows out, this person will be brought in, and if we can't go down that lane, we'll go down that lane. And you know, if we can't do it here, we'll do it over here. I mean, she's got contingency plans everywhere because she wrote everything. She knows where everything is, and everything, nothing swerves Talia. She wrote it. She is the creator. She is the part of God that creates. So nothing swerves me. Nothing. And the demons are only allowed to torture me to the extent that it serves the highest good. So every pain they visit upon me is turned to the absolute highest advantage for humanity. So this torture that I am in now is serving humanity. And it's the world we live in that we have to go from hell to heaven. There's no other way to do it. So we step into the fire, and then we respond with love to everything that comes. And what's happened to me now is that everything has been taken away. I don't have public approval. That's really so far from what I have. I don't have anyone that really believes in me, or I just don't have anyone but Talia. And she is the one that, she's my refuge, you know. She's the one that sends me all of the different things to support me. When I have nothing, I have her. And it was just like when the demons took everything, you know, there were those 3 tabs up, and those were perfect, absolutely perfect for the purpose. And so there will always be something. Your passport, there will always be something in your passport that will help you get your mission accomplished. That's why you have to learn to look. Always look. Always. You don't stop looking. That's what happens when you give up on love, is you start ignoring the signs. Russell said, I pray every day, God, talk to me in signs. And God talked to you for a year in signs, thousands and thousands of signs over my Twitter feed. And you weren't there, I guess. And so you've given up on love. You're not looking for the signs, and you're not paying attention to the signs, and you're not paying attention to me. I mean, the day when Russell Brand turns his back on a female Jesus that's giving him all of his answers and shows him how he can be king of the world, how he can be the actual divine human Messiah, that's the day, you know, that's the day that we're in the kingdom of hell. And we are. And so the kingdom of hell is where I'm working now. And I don't know how long this is going to take. I don't know what I'm going to have to do. I don't know what I'm going to have to endure. I don't know what I don't know what it takes. I don't know what it takes for any of this. I don't know what it takes. I don't know anything except that I do the will of God. How may I serve? And then I am led, I am moved. I wait for the impulses to act upon. And I wait for the words to come. That's what I do. And I exist only to do that. And I don't care about anything else. I don't do anything else. And I don't want anything else. I may say that I want this and that and all the other, but what I want is for Talia's outcome to come about. I just want what she wants. I want what you want, Lord, and nothing less. So I have to surrender everything else. All ego desires. Even my desire to be safe, my desire to be happy, my desire to be loved, my desire to be free, my desire to be out of this psycho-spiritual prison, my desire to have everything back that was taken from me. I've got to surrender all of that. All of it. Because that's not what I want. What I want is to serve the highest good of all in every single thing that I do. That's what I want. And if any of that other stuff would get in the way of that, I don't want it. just like, you know, that's just it. Everything you've ever said, Russell, lets us know how you really feel, and you're not acting from your soul. You're not living. You're not walking your talk, Russell. You're not. That's not you. Not you. So, is there anything else that I could tell myself to keep myself strong and peaceful during the agony? I won't stop until I win or die, and I can't die, so I won't stop until I win. Don't know how long it's going to take. I went over that. Don't know how bad the suffering will get. I'm sure that I will face things that I think I can't endure, and I will endure them. How can you find out what you can endure until you're forced to endure it? I mean, this year has been a scourging in fire, and everything that hasn't actually been me has been burned away. You know, I mean, several months ago I was all humble and crying about, oh, you know, I don't want to piss off the Christian church. Well, I'm over that. And everything that happens to me just lends credibility to me, even if no one else is, you know, being brought along on that. I am. And I just get more powerful all the time. Excuse me. I eat the pain and get more powerful. And I'm just going to get, you know, of course, more and 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 more powerful. Everything that is illusion about me will be stripped away. And you will be left with just the truth. That's me. That's what my name means. Satnam means the truth. Satina means the truth. I'm the truth that will set you free. I'm the way and the truth and the life. So, how am I the way? If you walk the way I do, you will walk from your hell into your heaven. How am I the truth? I think we've covered that. How am I the life? I think we've covered that. You don't have any hope but me. You have no other story. You've got no other reality. This reality that you're in right now leads to absolute destruction of the human race. And so much suffering. It doesn't bear thinking about. Because it's not sustained. That timeline's been erased. Talia took her eraser because we brought enough love and light to the world and said, no, you've done it. You know? And that's what I did as Jesus, is I came in and extended the timeline. Because, like the book of Revelation says, no one else could do that. Humanity was doomed. They had chosen themselves right off the planet. They had chosen to drive their souls out of their bodies, to allow their souls to be driven out of their bodies. And Russell Brand is an example, and so is Shannon, but we can all watch Russell Brand. We can't watch Shannon, can we? But we can watch Russell Brand, and we can see his soul's not in charge. That's not Russell Brand. What the fuck is that? It's the Antichrist. You know, Russell Brand is the Christ. He's the human Christ. So, of course, the enemy that comes in is going to be the Antichrist. So that's what you're seeing. And that's what is slated for all of humanity. And obviously, if they can get Russell Brand, they can get anybody. That's the lesson of Russell Brand. That's the illustration that he's providing for all of us. Is that if the Antichrist can get Russell Brand, they can get anybody. Anybody. They can turn the Christ into the Antichrist. Literally. So we've got to be vigilant. This is a war. This is war. And so that's what they wanted for everybody. And if we don't choose love, well, I do choose love because I am love and I have no choice. I have no choice. I am love. You have to choose love because you have a choice. You have total free will. You can choose to be the most deplorably evil thing anyone's ever seen. You can choose that. I can't. You have to choose love. And if you don't choose love, then your soul can't operate. Your soul is love. So when you don't choose love, you don't choose your own soul. Anytime you're making a choice from anything but love, your soul's not making that choice. You're letting something else choose for you. And the Antichrist is like Talia, but the Antichrist writes the story that will create the highest amount of pain possible in the world to feed the archons. So if you give the devil 5 minutes of your time and decide to just be evil for a while because you just don't feel like being good anymore, every second that you decide it doesn't matter if you choose love or not, you're going to be used to put the maximum amount of pain into the world that you can possibly put into the world every second that you have given control to something besides love. That is the really horrifying reality we live in down here. That's why things are so incredibly bad, unbelievably bad. Believe it. It's true. So we must choose love. The only way we're going to survive this war is to become divine, to become the God and Goddess within. And the divine is love. So we have to become love. You have to become love, or else you're something else. Russell Brand illustrates it. He's become not love. He's become something else. So he's our illustration now that if you don't choose love because you're in too much pain, that's what happens. You are made a tool of the Antichrist. And that's what's going on down here. I'll go over who Russell Brand is a little bit more, because Talia is the Christ Oversoul. And Talia sent down a divine aspect of herself in Jesus Christ. He also was Elohim and without free will. I mean, that's, how'd you get up on the cross, Jesus? That's how. Didn't have a choice. That's how. He's just exactly like me. When you watch the Gospel of John, look at him. That's what it's like to be me. The words come, and the actions come, and I have no choice, and I live not my will but thine be done. And I don't even have to say that because it's just plain true. I don't have any will. There's nothing. There's no way for me to operate this body. I don't have control of this body. I ride in it. And so Talia sent down that divine aspect of herself for that age. He was the avatar of the age of Pisces. And this time, Talia has sent down 178 human aspects of her soul. That's 178 humans walking the earth who have the same exact soul that I do, the Christ Oversoul. But they're in human bodies, mostly. Again, they have 25% divine DNA. They're mostly human, and they have total free will. And so they all have different bodies and different life experiences and different parts of the mission to fulfill. And Russell Brand is one of those human aspects. And since he has been the eternal best friend and loyal right hand of Christ in every lifetime, he's the one that is supposed to open the door and invite Christ back onto the planet. He also reveres the feminine. So he's of course, it's perfect that Christ is coming in a woman because he wants God to be a woman. He wants Jesus to be a woman. And so everything is perfect. And he is prepared for his mission. He's got a ridiculous amount of fame. He's craved it since he was a child. He was like, I'll kill myself if I don't get famous. It's because that's his mission. He was supposed to get famous and then get people asking the questions, get them on their knees begging for answers. And then he was supposed to shut up and listen to God and get the answers just the way he said he was going to. And then he was supposed to come back and steal the vote and give you the answers. And something went wrong after he shut his mouth and decided to listen to God. He didn't listen to God. He listened to the Antichrist. And what happened was the Antichrist hit him with pain. He got hit from every angle, I'm sure, surrounded by negative people and negative talk and negative circumstances, and I'm sure he lost things, and he stepped into the fire, and the Antichrist set out to destroy him. And since he didn't know what was going on, he just fell. He just fell. He fell down lower than he's ever been, lower than when he was using drugs, because I've seen the work he did when he was on drugs, and he was still choosing love most of the time. I mean, of course, obviously the demons came in and he did some horrible stuff too, but you could, a lot of the stuff that he did, he was still a very loving individual, and he was still choosing love and trying to bring love and trying to be love. And he's not doing that anymore. So this is worse than when he was on drugs. And so he has fallen. But again, this is the boss battle. Antichrist versus Christ. Who is Russell Brand going to serve? Well, Russell Brand is going to serve the Christ. He's going to serve love. It's all he's ever wanted to serve. I've watched Brand, Brand A Second Coming about, 8 or 9 times in the past couple of weeks while I've been agonizing, just drilling it into my head what he really wants. So that when I saw that the devil had him, I would know, wow, no, that's not Russell Brand. And I wouldn't give up on him. And so that's also why I've spent the whole year being in love with him and talking to him and basking in him and showing every bit of his old work and, just learning him inside and out, was so that when he was taken over, I would know that's not Russell Brand. And I would know not to give up on him. And not to just go, oh, well, I guess I was wrong about that. He's not the one. He's not going to be our divine human Messiah, I guess. It's something else. We're going to have to, no. There's, no. I'm not letting him fall. I'm not losing him. I'm not losing Russell Brand. I'm not allowing the devil to take Russell Brand away from humanity. But you can tell when he's in the crowds in his old work, not in this stuff. People are desperate for him to be the answer, and they're like, don't give up on it, and he's their hope. And I'm not letting the Antichrist take him from you or me. I'm just not going to do that. So I will do whatever it takes, and that includes facing my own psycho-spiritual torture. And that's what I live in now. Every time I see that he's not on task, it's just a punch to the gut that we still live in hell. Hell. And so I have to get used to that. I have to make that okay. Because I have to be able to see his channel. Because how will I ever know if I've reached him? Because it's too dangerous for him to contact me. We're not supposed to do it that way. No way, no how. And so this is the way it's supposed to happen. And he's just supposed to start stealing the vote. Start teaching people about the real Jesus Christ. And start demonstrating love. Start being the human Jesus, the human Christ, the second coming of Christ. Beginning the second coming of Christ in humanity, making a place for the actual Christ, so that I don't just get killed instantly. I mean, I won't get killed instantly, but I'll be attacked on all sides, and I am. I'm attacked on all sides. I'm not safe anywhere. I'm safe everywhere, and I'm not safe anywhere. If that makes sense. Excuse me. Throat's very dry, and I can't seem to really do much about it. Um, all right, so yeah, so what Russell's going to do, he's going to tell people that he's made contact with his higher self and figured out that it's the Christ Oversoul, and that it's the masculine energy in a female form in order to bring respect and reverence for the feminine. And when he does that, every woman on the planet's going to adore him, and every woman and every little girl is going to be lifted by the fact that, you know, his higher self is a female form, and basically what he's saying is that his God is female. Because when he talks to God, me, he's talking to a she. And when she tells him things, I'm going to speak for God. So his God is female. And so that alone is going to shift the whole world. And then, when he does that, he's going to begin to put the image of a female Christ into people's minds. And the Statue of Liberty is a statue of the Christ. That's Talia. That's me. And so he will put that image in their minds as the Christ, and then he will let them know. And Talia said she's sending another divine aspect, and that I am preparing the world to receive her. And so there will be an actual Christ, just like there was before, a physical incarnation of the Christ energy that will protect, care for, and reign over the entire world for the next couple thousand years. So in that way, he's making the world ready for me. He's making a place for me, because there's no place for Christ. That's why Jesus had to be crucified. There was no place for him to be. Jesus didn't fit. And right now, I don't fit, obviously. Nobody has a place for me. And so Russell Brand is supposed to make that place for me by getting people ready for me, so that when it is time for me to come out, people will be ready, expecting me, loving me already. And when he steps forward as the human Christ, he will be worshipped. People will kneel to him. People will follow him. People will love him and adore him. And because he's their only hope, he will be the only truly clear voice of Christ. Until I clear all my other voices, I'm clearing his first. That was what I thought I was doing for this whole year, but whatever. Guess I'm doing it now. Doesn't matter, does it? Doesn't matter. But this is the plan, is that he will be the only truly clear voice and telling truths no one's ever heard before. But he's going to be doing comedy shows. So, you know, that shatters the ego. That lets people accept new seeds. It breaks the ground. You know, he says it. He says it in his video, in his film, A Second Coming. Brand A Second Coming. He says, yeah, that's what his comedy does. It breaks new ground so that new ideas can then be planted. That's exactly what his show will do. It will bring truths no one's ever heard before, and those truths are going to set humanity free. He's going to save souls with every show. So he will become the Messiah. And then his God will show up when the time is right, and he will simply go, there she is. Then they'll kneel to me, and there won't be a fight. Hair in my mouth. Of course, you know, that doesn't mean there won't be a fight, because there are forces that will fight me and will oppose me. But whatever, that doesn't really matter. There's plans for all of it. Those 178 aspects, all of those artists on my playlist are aspects that are speaking for Christ and will serve me and will rule with me. And they already have the worship of the world. So all they have to know is that they are Christ, and then they will take over. Everybody already worships them. So all they have to say is you know, all they have to do is all agree on the way to live, which is love, and model that and make it trendy, and then everybody will want to do exactly what they do. You know, if Bono says do this, everybody will do this. Well, Bono's a Christ, so Bono will say do this, and he'll get the this from me, because God, Talia, will tell me what to tell them. And when I tell them, then they will tell their flocks. See, that's it. I don't have to come out to everybody yet. I just have to come out to the influencers and let them influence. And that way I stay safe. And that's how we're going to do it. And then I'll become more and more powerful every day as I am coming out to these different influencers. I'm also going to be growing bigger, more powerful every single day. And so I will be powerful enough that I can step out later. And, I'll do the whole, coming in the clouds with the trumpets and the, when I said, really? I have to come in the clouds with trumpets and shit? And Talia said, it will be like when they put a birthday sombrero on you at a Mexican restaurant. So I might even show up in a birthday sombrero, or not a birthday, well, yeah, it is. It will be a birthday of sorts. But I may wear a sombrero because it's too perfect. Because, yeah, nobody really wants that sombrero on their head, but it gets everybody's attention, doesn't it? And that's what I have to do, because anybody that doesn't kneel to me is an enemy. Anybody that doesn't gather with me is scattering. Anybody that isn't loving is hating. Anybody that isn't choosing love is being used by the Antichrist. Anybody that doesn't choose Christ is being used by the Antichrist. So I'm in danger everywhere that I'm not known and respected, because they won't realize they're being used against me, but they will be. So I can't be around unbelievers. It's not safe. So, but there will come a day when I come in the clouds with the trumpets, and it'll be like the whole fucking world falls on its knees, and there will be no doubt, and then there will be no danger. There will be no danger. But right now there's danger, and I have to hide. And this is the way it's supposed to be. This is the way it's got to be. And again, the book of Revelation doesn't talk about this, but other prophecies of the second coming of Christ, such as the coming of the Aquarian Avatar and the coming of Maitreya, the world teacher, those absolutely tell my story of a person arising from within the population who's focused on humanitarian efforts and who arrives with a group of people called the knowers of God, people who actually know God, know the truth, people who know me. So when I do show up publicly, of course I'll have knowers of God. All my aspects will know me. All my the churches that I've been able to redeem will know me. My singers, they're my aspects. And so, the knowers of God, ascended masters. It says that, it says he, and of course, again, all the prophecies say he. That's to keep me safe. And I am he. Inside, this is masculine energy. I carry the masculine. I carry God. I don't carry goddess. I mean, I carry both, because I'm a perfect blend of masculine and feminine energies. So I am both the goddess and the God incarnate. But my mind is the mind of God. This is the masculine energy. This is how the masculine energy moves in the world. The masculine energy puts things out into the world, and it structures things, and it thinks all the time. It's always producing more thoughts. It's the sun. The masculine energy is the sun, and it feeds things and makes them grow. And I know that sounds like the goddess, and it is, because she sustains them, she nurtures them, she brings them to life. But the God provides. God is the provider. The masculine is the provider. The masculine energy wants to provide and protect and serve and be the hero. The masculine energy wants to be the hero. And the feminine energy nurtures, and it loves, and it sustains, and it receives. The feminine in us is the part that receives and surrenders. The God, this is how it is. The God energy is the energy of relentless love. The sun is relentless love. It never stops. It never lets up, not for a second. Relentless love. The feminine energy, the goddess, is unconditional surrender to that love. Just unconditional acceptance and surrender to all that love that's pouring in. And she's the moon, who becomes a planet in the light of God's love. Without God's love, she's a cold, dead rock in space. And so, when I died in Shannon's arms a couple of times, she became a cold, dead rock in space. She had no more sunshine. So the life that she had sustained couldn't be sustained anymore, and it all died. And so she became a shell that was then filled up with Jezebel, the Antichrist's wife, the unholy spirit, which is the spirit of don't trust God, don't surrender to God's will. The Jezebel spirit is the unholy spirit, which is the opposite of the Holy Spirit, which is the goddess, by the way. The Holy Spirit is the goddess. And the unholy spirit is Jezebel. And her whole thing is control. No matter what, survive and control the situation. Stay safe. Doesn't matter what you have to do. Lie, cheat, steal, prostitute, rape, steal, kill, throw everyone under the bus. Does not matter. Survive. That's what Jezebel does. And the most important thing to her is public approval, because it's the only thing that feeds her. She doesn't get sustained on God or goddess. She's not sustained on that. So the only food she has is public approval. So she'll do anything for it. And that's how they kill the world, is they keep all of the goddesses focused on public approval instead of God's approval, and they kill the world with their conventional life, which is designed to do the maximum amount of harm in the world possible. That's what's going on down here. That's who I am in it. And I'm completely relentless. And I'm completely unstoppable. And I will not go away. And I won't stop until I win. There's nothing else in my life. Nothing. There's nothing distracts me. Ever. Ever. I just don't. It doesn't happen. I don't have that mechanism. I can't get distracted unless it serves the highest good, and I'm distracted from something, like negative. I'm distracted by squirrels outside, which lifts my spirits. That kind of distraction I can do because it actually serves the highest good. But distracting me away from my work, no, it's not ever going to happen. You can't distract me away from my work. They can't distract me away from my work. Again, lay me out, cut me open, rip my guts out, and I'm still going to work. You're not going to shut me up until you kill me. And I'm immortal. You can't kill me, so you're not going to shut me up. Book of Revelation tells you Armageddon, Christ has the double-edged sword of truth coming out of his mouth. That's his weapon. That's how he takes over the world, is with truth. Relentless truth. Truth, 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 truth. Christ is going to slice their illusion to ribbons with truth. I have it. I know everything. I understand everything. There are no secrets from me. None. If there is anything that needs to be known in order to serve the highest good, I will know it, and I will know exactly who to tell it to. That's me. Satina. Truth. Truth girl. Satina. Tina means little or girl. And Sat, truth. So I'm truth girl. And again, name of God, Satanam. That's my name. That's me. Alright, I think this video is probably long enough, and I think I've probably said enough that I can watch this over and over and over, if necessary, to keep me in my own energy, to remember what's true, what's happening, what's important, what matters. Nothing. Nothing matters except doing the will of God. And I can do nothing else. So nothing matters. And I should be happy. And I should be proud. because every single move I make absolutely delights God in every way, because I can't do anything else. God is acting through me, and God's not going to do something that he doesn't like seeing. Talia's not going to misuse me in a way she doesn't want me used. She's in me. I am Talia. I'm playing out the story, and I will do everything perfectly. I don't know what's around every corner, but she does. And so I will always be in the right place, at the right time, doing the exact right thing, saying the exact right thing. And even if it doesn't feel like it, even if it feels really shitty what I'm going through, I am doing the exact right thing all the time. And what anyone else does in response to that is their business, and it is between them and Talia. I am doing nothing but pleasing Talia, because I'm pleasing Talia. And you please the force that you can't, I am Talia. I ride in her body. This is her body. She controls it. I don't. I ride inside and I go, oh, we're doing this? Yep, we're doing this. Oh, I said that. Oh, I typed that. Oh, we think, oh, I'm saying this. Oh, shit, that's my life. This is Talia. Talia moves me. Talia speaks, Talia types, and I ride inside and go, whoa, that's true? So I read my own tweets, because I'm as I'm typing along, I'm sort of taking it in, but I have to go back and reread it over and over and over again, because that's the Word of God. There is nothing higher on the planet than what I'm bringing through. That's the Word of God, and it's pure. There is no ego distortion in anything that I ever do or say. So that is the absolute, pure, unadulterated Word of God. And I honor it. I read it over and over and over. And I watch my videos over and over and over. This is Talia speaking to you right now. Your Creator is speaking to you right now. So I'm going to watch this video and watch my Creator speak to me and remind me what's important, what matters, who I am and who everybody else is and what's going on. That's why I made this video. Obviously, I'm feeling much better than I was. And again, I've turned my suffering into understanding. Understanding and just, always being open and going everywhere Talia tells me to go for my sustenance, to raise my frequency, songs and movies, things, quotes, verses, whatever, food, all of that keeps me going. It keeps me going, and it turns suffering into experience. It turns suffering into the work. I'm doing the work. And as long as I keep that in mind, I'm just doing the work. I'm doing a great job. I'm doing a fan-fucking-tastic job. I'm doing a perfect job. Absolutely perfect. I am doing an absolutely perfect job. And that's another thing my mind could say was, well, if you didn't get Russell, well, you must have fucked up. You must not have been good enough. No, I'm perfect. I just didn't get Russell. So I gotta keep being perfect and get Russell. And I don't know when I'll get him, how I'll get him. I just gotta keep being perfect. And I can't be anything else, so I'm just gonna continue being perfect. And I'm gonna continue showing you what it's like to live in your own personal hell and still respond to absolutely everything with nothing but perfect love, mercy, compassion, forgiveness, and understanding. That's all that's in here. Just, there's no hate in here. There's nothing but love in here. The thoughts aren't in there, but there's nothing allowing me to act on those thoughts or express those thoughts. And they're not mine. That's the point. Is the thoughts are in there, but the energy's not. There is Antichrist energy in Russell Brand now. It's not his soul looking out of those eyes. And so there's more than love living in that body now. And the only way he can get free is to choose love over everything else and drop everything else that he's thinking is important, is more important than love, he's got to drop it. He has to be born again now. I never thought I'd have to save Russell Brand. I just thought I was going to, again, I just thought I was shutting his mouth to listen to God, and I was going to show up and give him all the answers, and then, yay! It's not the way it happened. He had to illustrate for us that anyone can be gotten to, can be turned by the Antichrist. But, just like Shannon is serving as the illustration of never too far gone, I will redeem him. I will redeem them all of my crew. I'm not going to lose them, just not. So that's it. So I'm going to get back to demonstrating perfect love in absolutely every interaction. And I'll catch you later. Victory to the heart, to love.